So throughout the years that I've been involved in technology strategy, I have a technology background, I've been involved with startups in the past, so my technology strategy experience isn't solely within the nonprofit sector. I've seen common mistakes that people make when it comes to technology strategy. And the first one that I mentioned earlier is that people focusing too soon on the tools. They get tied up in the weeds way too early in the process, and they never get out. They never implement a strategy. And that's a tremendous failure. If you can't even formulate a strategy, then you went the wrong way about tackling the problem altogether. The second one is that people don't allow room for things to go wrong in their strategy. As I use the analogy of a workout plan, some days you get sick, the gym might close, your car might break down, and in your strategy, you want to have breathing room. You want to give room for unintended consequences or unexpected events that might take place. And that's something that takes time, because at first, we just have this ideal plan, but you always have to have on your team somebody who asks the what if question. What if this vendor stops selling us things? What if the job market crashes? Et cetera, et cetera. You want to have these sort of I wouldn't call them emergency plans, but some sort of breathing room that you want to have at each step of your strategy plan. This leads me into another one, that is, you don't want to use textbook strategy. Textbook strategy is nice for school, and I'm sure it gets you good grades, but in the real world, it does not apply. As I said, there's always things that are changing, always things that you did not account for in your plan. So you want to be nimble and flexible when it comes to that. And one major mistake that people make is that people strategize just to strategize. You don't just do strategy to just write a strategic plan. You do it really to anticipate the trends, to understand how your sector is evolving, how maybe your subsector within the nonprofit world is evolving, or your service or your customers are evolving over time. And you want to anticipate their needs. You want to anticipate their demands. And Steve Jobs, for example, of Apple, is tremendous at anticipating or even creating needs. Nobody needed an iPad, but he went and anticipated that and created an iPad. And now he created a need that didn't exist before. And that's something that us as humans, we can do with a little bit of training. So one exercise that many people can do is, if you had dots on a curve and you see a stock market up and down, you have a good sense if it's going up or going down based on the overall trend. And obviously that's not a guarantee of success. The foresight is to foresee when it's going to go down before it goes down. And this can be applied to the nonprofit sector. You have to look at the realities on the ground. What are the politics? What are the laws? What are the construction on University Avenue? How is that going to affect your plan? Et cetera, et cetera. So really having that, looking outside of your plan, taking a step back and looking at the broader trends is very important in strategy, because otherwise you are doing it's almost like an oxymoron. You in day-to-day work within a strategic plan. And really you want to keep your ideas broad and your creativity open to things that are unintended in your strategic plan. Finally, I think the last one is to shove technology down people's throats. I think that definitely does not work. Two things, I guess. That's the first one, is that just shoving technology down people's throat does not work, because people, even though they might be receptive, and they don't have fear of technology per se, but they will just be resistant because of your attitude. So you really want to make sure that we are in this together. We are a team. Although you're not part of implementing the strategic plan, you are part of the execution of it. So we need you to be here. You want to make sure that people are stakeholders within your organization in the success of your plan. And the second one is, you should never, ever choose a technology because you think it's cool. Because you might be much more tech savvy than your average worker. Your tech strategy is going to be as successful as your weakest link in the organization. So you want to make sure that anything you design could be adopted by your least tech-friendly employee. And then from there you move up. Because you want to think about, when you leave your organization, you want to make sure that your plan outlives you. Because any plan that is only designed for 3 or 6 or 1 year, 3, 6 months or 1 year, is not going to have the impact that people hope to get out of it. And that's something that really requires that people buy into it, and that technology is designed not based on what you think is good, but what is feasible and what is adoptable from your employees or your coworkers.